Hey there, Roger Burnley here, vocal coach. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about singing with your own voice and showing you why it's important to sing with your own voice. Now, what does that mean? It means this. It means that you do have a great voice. And if you sing with it, meaning that you open up all of it that is there, you will sound great. I'll tell you my story and then someone that I just worked with just a little bit ago so you start to understand how important this is. I had all this judgment on what my own voice was like. I thought it wasn't big enough. It wasn't sounding great in comparison to every other major singer that was out there. I thought my voice was just kind of weak and just didn't have any body to it. So what I started doing was I wanted to make it bigger. So I would start adding this kind of sound to it. You know, let me see, I don't know, was I looking at opera singers or something, but I started adding this sound to it. And so what happened was I started using the swallowing muscles to start to produce sound. You know, the muscles under your jaw that you use when you're eating food. And so what happens is when those muscles come down, it's always stopping your air. So I went on doing that for years and years and years because I thought I sounded terrible. And again, this was just an assessment that I had made about my voice, not knowing what the heck I was up to. So over the years, then I started to not be able to sing. I was doing shows all the time. I would do a show and the next day I could not talk because I had been using these muscles trying to make my voice sound better. So then I spent years and years having to retrain myself to be able to use my voice in the correct way. So I spent a whole bunch of money going through and getting training to undo what I had done to myself by trying to not sing with my own voice. The same thing happened just a couple of weeks ago. I was working with a client who was in town from Asia, and she was working on recording a couple of songs. And so I noticed the same thing. I go, what is happening here? And what was going on, she was doing the same thing. She was adding this sound to her voice because she thought, she made an assessment that her voice was not quite sounding what it should be. So we spent so much time just changing that around so she could get into a place to go into the studio to be able to record. So let me give you some examples of what this, so you start to understand why it's important to sing with your voice. You have a particular sound to your voice. Everyone does. You know this because this is how you're able to recognize different voices of friends that you know when they call you on the telephone. There's a different sound to each person. You can recognize it. That's their voice. Now, because of the way that their body is built, the way that their vocal cords are constructed, they will create a particular tone, a particular sound. Now, if they're trying to manipulate in some way to change that, they're going to probably start using techniques that are going to get in the way and end up screwing up their voice over time. I've seen this over and over again, and I say that because I did it, but I've also seen thousands of clients that I've worked with who have done the same thing. So let's just understand this again. Now, you're going to analyze, you may won't do it completely yourself right now, but you're going to know this to a certain degree. Do you have what I call a heavy voice? Or do you have a really light voice, meaning your placement is typically up here? Depending on what that is, then there are going to be certain habits that you're going to use that are going to help your voice project the sound that you want to have. Now, for instance, my voice naturally has this kind of depth to it, this weight to it. And so because of that, I would have a tendency to always kind of go back in my throat and use these muscles. So let me just show you something. Happy birthday. When I just sing that, when I start to open my mouth, just to sing happy birthday, we'll take something that everyone knows. When I do that, that first word, ha, I can put my thumb at ha, and I could feel, I can't even do it quite that horribly anymore because I've retrained myself. But that's where I want you to get to. Let me exaggerate. Ha, now there, ha. When I do that, I can feel them start to come down. Now, to train myself to get out of that habit, I'm going to now shift my focus. Happy birthday. Now my sound is here. Now I'm projecting here. I can feel it here. Happy birthday to you. But then I have to remember, I've got to start here because my tendency is to go back in my throat. When I do that, I'm going to access the natural beauty that is within my voice. And I'm saying that because you have it too. If you don't do these manipulations or try to copy someone else, then you're going to find that beauty within your voice. That's the other important part I want to get to. It is really difficult for you, as you're working on your voice and learning how to sing, to not follow artists that you're listening to. You have to. How else are you going to learn songs? You practice. That's what you're doing. Now, but understand this. You're going to start picking up some of their vocal habits. Not all of them may be the best for your voice, given what I've just explained, how every voice is a little different, has different construction, and you need to honor and utilize the construction that is yours to get the most out of your voice. I just wanted you to have this video to start to understand this and to get the right instruction for your voice. That's so, so important. Anyway, so I hope this tip really helps you and gets you to think about things a little bit differently. If I could leave you with one point from all of this, your voice is really great. And the only reason you don't know that is that you have not yet accessed it, but you will. So anyway, hope this helps you guys, and I will be back with more videos, so look for the next one. All right, have a really great day.